Today on Locked On Phoenix Suns, the moment we've all been waiting for. Our Locked On Suns board bets for the 2024-25 season. Got tons of great answers from tons of Suns fans, and we'll give you ours. We'll get to see who's right or wrong as the season progresses. Let's dive in.
You are Locked On Suns, your daily Phoenix Suns podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome back into Locked On Suns. I'm Brendan Clean, a staff writer at Awful Announcing and a credentialed Suns media member. Thank you for making Locked On Suns your first listen to kick off your whatever day this is going up. We're coming at you from the future, the past, wherever you don't know, but you're getting content. Don't forget, Locked On Suns is free and available on all platforms, including YouTube. So click that follow or subscribe button. Join thousands of other Suns fans who have already done the very same thing. Be coming every day and get locked onto the Phoenix Suns right here each and every day. Joining me, as always, the executive producer of The Drive on Fox Sports 910 from the wonderful West Valley in the past. How are we feeling, Ben Garcia?
I'm feeling so good in the past. I hope the future has been kind to me. Lord only knows what's coming for me. Lord only knows.
Do you think the Cardinals beat the Packers? How are you feeling?
No.
Yeah,
No, I don't. And because every single prediction I've had on the Cardinals has been literally the inverse. So I'm just going to say Packers, and I believe that as well. So that
reverse
hopefully
jinx.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Okay, let's see if we can reverse jinx or get these predictions right here in Suns land. Our Locked On Suns board bets. Appreciate each and every one of you who clicked in there and gave your votes. I am going to just go top to bottom on this thing, Ben, and we're going to read off what the people said, and we're going to give what we say. And then we'll look back at this in like 6 months and either feel really good or really bad or laugh about it. We'll see.
What do you think's better? Because I don't know. I haven't seen the results. Only you have.
Yeah.
Share what we have to think and then give the results, or results then think? Because I'd be curious
results
to
and
give...
then us.
Okay. All right. That's fine.
That's how I was going to do it. What you got it? You want to do the other one?
I was just thinking like I wanted to kind of, you know what? Let's do it. Let's do it your way. Let's do it your way.
I'll be very dramatic in how I reveal the results here. Okay, so question number one. How many wins will the Suns get in the 2024-25 season? This one had a ton of different answers. I basically wanted to grade it out all the way from 500 up to 55 plus. The over-under, which we were discussing right before we hit record here, is 46.5. So no one thinks they're going to win that many games. I think we're almost universally over 46.5, Ben, and the most frequently given answer is 55 plus. 43% of the folks who listen to our lovely program believe that the Suns are on their way to 55 plus wins. What are your thoughts and what is your answer?
I really hope so. And thank you to our dearest listeners that are just great fans. That is ridiculously high. There is no way the Suns are getting 55 wins this year for a bunch of reasons. Just really quickly, new head coach, bunch of new players. I believe it's going to be Mercury in the beginning, and it's going to, be a little tough to get through what they need to get through. But after that 20-game stretch, I think they're going to be really good. So I will take them to win 51 games this year. I'll do 51. I originally had it at 50. Right now, I'm changing it on the spot. I'll go 51. I'll give them 2 extra wins from last year.
Okay, so I'll make the case briefly that I've made a few times all summer recapping last year's team that we need to keep in mind here. They won 49 games, but because they were so awful in the clutch and awful in the fourth quarter, they should have won 51. Their point differential was that of a 51-win team. So that's kind of what we have to think of them as last year. I know that's not always how really life works, but that's the benchmark. And so I look at that and I think they got better. So I don't want to go too much better than that, but I'm going to go higher than you and I'll say 52.
Okay. I think it's more than fair.
We at least can't say the same thing. Okay.
Bless our Suns fans' hearts, man. They're going with their heart.
You tried when we talked about expectations a few times in the preview to just say set your hopes low and just enjoy the ride.
Just enjoy it. It's gonna be okay.
People can't do that. Okay. Question number 2, where will the Suns finish in the Western Conference standings? This one was split a little bit more evenly. 37% of people said third. That was the highest. 32% of people said second, so right narrowly behind. And then the next most frequent answer was fourth. 7.7% of people said first, and nobody said play-in or miss playoffs.
Not a single person.
Not a single person. So
We
who
have
is
some
your
negative
answer?
Nellies. Fourth.
We do.
They'll finish with the fourth seed. I think that's perfectly fair. I believe that they will be able to be a team that hosts the first round of the playoffs, but nothing after that. I'd still take the cohesion and chemistry and results of the Mavericks and OKC for sure. Not so sure about Denver, Minnesota. Who else is in here? Clippers won't be as good, but definitely those two teams at minimum, Dallas and OKC. I'll definitely take both of those two over them. And I just think that they'll probably be another surprise team.
So I'll just say third then, and we can be a little different because I agree. I think Oklahoma City will get the 1 seed once again, and I think Minnesota feels like the safest bet to be up there as well. But other than that, I don't feel like there's a guarantee. Or you said Dallas. I think Minnesota.
Dallas has just got a lot of firepower, cohesion, chemistry, same head coach.
For sure.
I think that goes a long way.
So you have fourth, I have third. Either way, they're hosting a first-round series. That would be a very nice change. We'll see what happens. Number 3, where will the Suns finish in offensive efficiency in 2024-25? They were 9th last season, as we've talked quite a bit about here, as we've previewed the season. 56% of people, more than half, said top 3, Ben. Almost a quarter, 23%, said top 10. Very few people said number 1. And a few said top 5. And actually, a couple people did say outside the top 10 completely, which if I'll tell you right now, somehow nobody said they're missing the playoffs. If they're outside the top 10 in offense, we got to worry about them missing the playoffs. So I hope you guys are on board with that. But what's your answer, Ben?
They'll finish top 3 in the NBA because they have to. Ultimately, I think they're going to finish somewhere between 3 and 5. But I feel more comfortable saying 3 than I do saying 5. And I'd be going against everything that I've spoken, you've spoken. They need to be a team that is predicated on the offense and just fine defensively. If they want to win as many games, I think they can win.
From what we've seen in preseason and heard out of training camp, the things that I would have needed to see click to believe that they could get as high as that all feel like they're going to happen. Threes, pace, low turnovers, a lot of guys feeling like they're clicking, and some maybe surprise candidates to make things even better. So I'm going to go top 3. I can't predict number 1. That would be
it's hard.
Foolish.
It's too hard. Yeah.
But top 3 feels reasonable. So we're in the vast majority. All Suns fans seem to be locked in on that top 3 number, Ben. So we're right there with them. Okay. Next, where will the Suns finish in defensive efficiency this season? Of course, 12th last season. We have number 1 in the NBA. Or, no, sorry, I had it as top 5. Sorry, top 5 in the NBA. Top 15 or outside the top 15, bottom half of the league, kind of falling off of a cliff there. 82% of people said top 15, and they were not willing to go any further than that. Are you willing to go far enough to say top 5?
No, they are not going to be a top 5 defense. If they are, I mean, imagine if they're a top 5 defense and outside the top 10 in offense. Maybe they're just going to be a defensive-led team, and Frank Vogel missed the train there, but they'll be a top 15 team. If I'm getting specific, 12 to 15. I think it's too much to ask them to be a top 10, and it's too much to say that they're going to be way worse than last year. So top 15. What about you?
Yeah, we talked about this on Friday's episode the week before this went up, and I think that I could see them improving a bit from where they were last year if they're able to create more turnovers or rebound better or have some help from somebody like a Ryan Dunn, maybe that we're not expecting, or Nurkic improves the way that we saw Brook Lopez do under Bud or something like that, but not much more. So we're in the same ballpark for this answer, top 15. I think we might be a little off where I think they could get to like 9th, 10th, and you seem to be a little below that, but ultimately the answer remains the same. 82% of people agreed with us. All right, let's get to some quicker ones. We'll go Suns category ranks. We'll go player stats. We'll go health. All sorts of different things as we round out all of our predictions for the 24-25 season. Next.
First, today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Hey, NFL fans, you can start the season with a big return on FanDuel, America's number one sports book. So when you get a hunch in the middle of a game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place bets. You can get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. So there's a lot of things going on, right? In the betting world, the NFL is going on. I'm a big futures bettor whenever I'm jumping in to this landscape of sports betting. Kind of look at the outright betting for Super Bowl LIX. I'll tell you what, the Houston Texans at plus 1,100 look just absolutely appetizing. A team that I believe could actually take down the Chiefs. You can join the fun as well on FanDuel.com. Remember, you get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. So what are you waiting for? Go ahead and check out FanDuel.com, America's number one sports book.
All right, Ben, keeping it rolling with our Locked On Suns board bets here. We've gone through all the biggest stuff. We have some smaller stuff how as it relates to how this team will play, where the players will line up stats-wise, and a lot more to get through. So let's jump in. How many threes will the Suns attempt per game? 32.6 last season. Grayson Allen poo-pooed that into the ground on Media Day and said, 6 more, we get to the top 5, and that's just each of the top guys on this team taking 1 more. Of course we can do it. So 70% of people agree with Grayson that the Suns will be in that top 5 range. We're guessing what the top 5 will be because this season hasn't happened yet, of course, but 38 or less would be the other answer, and 30% of people said that. Where do you land?
Yeah, I do believe that they're going to have to be one of so over whatever it was
38
from last year. So 38 or more this year. They have to be. They have to be. If Mike Budenholzer is practicing what he preaches, this is what they have to be. So absolutely, without a doubt, they have to be a top 5 team when it comes to 3-point attempts. You?
Have to be. And look, again, we've seen it in the preseason, right? So again, I'm not going in blind here. I feel pretty confident saying it. And the way Grayson put it, it's like almost too simple, but it's true. Like, we've heard Nurk talk up shooting more threes. Grayson himself is going to keep gunning. Book, Beal, Durant, we know they need to do it. And Tyus Jones is going to we've already seen him be a willing shooter on the catch. So there you go. That's almost getting you right there to it before you even think about anyone else. Will the Suns rank top 10 in pace? They were 17th last season. We've talked a lot about this heading in, Ben. 72% of people said that they will be top 10 in pace. 28% said that they will be outside the top 10 in this metric. Where are you?
Outside the top 10. I think they'll be somewhere between 10 and 12. So but again, I feel better about 12 than I do 10. So I do think that they're going to pick it up this year. You kind of have a lot of old guys on this, like a lot of older guys on this team, not old, but Kevin Durant, Yusuf Nurkic. It's not a ton of young guys like the OKCs of the world or some of the guys in the Mavericks. I do expect this team to pick up the pace. Top 10 feels just a little rich to me. What about you?
I'm going to say they do it. I'm going to say that they do it. You say young and old, and like that is basically a way to do it. But like the Lakers were 7th in pace last year. The Mavs were 8th. The Bucks with Giannis and Middleton and Dame, who are all in their 30s, were 10th in pace. So I think the Suns can do it. I'm a little curious to see how it looks when Tyus Jones is not on the court, if they can maintain the same push when their floor general is sitting on the bench, and do Beal and Booker and Durant create that the same way. But I think it'll be enough. That sense of identity of doing it and Tyus's presence, I think that'll be enough to get them in there.
Yeah, so let me ask you this then. Because we had said just a second ago, like, are they going to be do they have to shoot more threes? And we both said, yeah, they have to. Do they have to be a top 10 team in pace for this thing to work?
No.
So it's not a make or break thing.
No, I don't think it is. I mean, the other part of it is when you talk about the fourth quarters and everything, part of it wasn't just like that their team was so bad in the fourth quarter. Their pace fell off a cliff in the fourth quarter. So that's one of the things where, like, there's not really stats out there to show, like, first 3 quarters pace. Like, there's not sites that can break it down that granularly. But I would guess that their pace the first 3 quarters in most games was a lot closer to, like, 10 to 15. And then they just walked up like snails in the ends of games for whatever reason. So if they can just, again, flush that down the toilet, build better habits, I think they'll be there, but they don't have to go crazy with it and be like, you know, the Kings or something in order to have that presence be felt. All right, next one, getting into some player stats here, Ben. So will the Suns have more or less than 1.5 All-Stars this season? Of course, last year they had 2. Booker and Durant both made it. 92% of our lovely fans said they will have more than 1.5. Just 8% said less. What do you think?
I'm with the 8%. I think Booker gets snubbed this year. I don't think it's fair. I don't think he should be. I think he's going to be awesome. But I think they're going to look for any reason to take Devin Booker out of there. And whether it's they just don't want him there or it's tiring to have the same guy because you're not getting rid of Kevin Durant. If Kevin Durant has as good of a season that he had last year or anything similar, he's getting in.
Because he's going to be, the fan vote always favors him.
He's always going to get in. He's always going to get in. Devin Booker, I worry about it, man. I worry about them trying to, because Ja Morant's coming back this year. And, you know, there's the Anthony Edwards argument between him and Devin Booker. And I think Devin Booker should be there. I believe he will have the stats to be there, but I think they'll look for any reason not to have Booker there. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah. So, okay. I feel that, you know, you got Kyrie, you got Jamal Murray, you got, I guess, like Jamal would be the first timer. Does James Harden go off in a surprising way and get us there? Get himself there and kick Booker out. I could see the case for a Booker snub, but I think that Book has shown if he's healthy and productive, he tends to get in. It's really been health that has held him back. So I think I'm not going to bet on that. I will go more and join the 92%. All right. Will the Suns make more or less than 1.5 trades during the season? Last year, I set this line. We didn't do a board bets, but I talked about this a lot. I had it at half a trade, and they hit more. This year, I'll set it a little higher because I think we all are still waiting for one trade to happen, almost for sure. We're kind of between Okogie's contract and O'Neal and Allen and Nurkic. It's like they're going to do one move. I think they do 2 moves. 78% of people said less than 1.5, just one trade or 0 trades. 22% said more than 1.5, so 2+ trades. What do you think?
They're only going to do one trade, so it'll be less than 1.5. They don't have the resources to do so. Like, they have the flexibility to throw in an Okogie or throw in whoever it is, right? But they don't have the other resources to help get it pushed across the edge. So yeah, I'll say 1.5.
Yeah, like just as a reminder that I'm sure everybody already has here, but to put it out there, they can't aggregate contracts. So you're talking about 1-for-1 deals or something like that, and those are hard to do. And like Ben said, they don't have a ton to give up. They have their 2031 pick and a couple of seconds and, you know, maybe the rookies, but I feel like they're going to be too good to trade before long if they aren't already. So I don't think that's in there anymore. So, but I'll still say more. I think that they'll make at least 2 trades here and make one big one, make one real sizable one, and then maybe try to dump, just kind of prolong, maybe turn Okogie into somebody a little younger, or do something like that if they can. So I'll just say more. Will the Suns make it to the knockout round of the NBA Cup in-season tournament? 83% of people said yes, Ben. 17% said no. The weird thing is last year, they made it to that week of games, but technically, I don't believe that was the knockout round. I believe
No, that was
that
the knockout round. That was the knockout round.
It wasn't
That-
in Vegas.
No,
it
no,
counts
they didn't
as the
make it to
knockout
Vegas.
round.
The semifinals was in Vegas, and the final was in Vegas. The knockout round was at the Lakers, and the Suns lost. I remember that.
The
one
quarterfinals of the knockout round were in their home arenas. Okay, so
Yeah.
that does count. They did make it last year. Are they doing it
Yeah,
again?
because remember Booker made that last second three against some team to help put their points above another team. So yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
That's
They
how I
played the
remember
Kings.
whatever.
So what you got?
I'm gonna say no because I hope not. I was super into the NBA Cup last year. I was like, oh, this is fun. This is new. I like competitive basketball, like some pool play. This is cool. The court is different. It didn't look very cool, but it's cool, I guess. And the jerseys are different, but no, I'm over it. I don't want them to even have a chance to play an extra game. I do. And you know what? Just to snub Adam Silver, to say this is stupid, do something different. I hope they do make it to the finals, and Coach Bud rests everyone. I hope we have a starting lineup of Bol, Oso Ighodaro, not even Ryan Dunn in this instance. I'm talking Monte Morris. Pick up the Moses guy and Ty Washington and then roll him out there. We're playing him for 48 minutes. The entire game.
I love the in-season tournament. I think it was a roaring success. I like the courts. I'm all in on all of it. The Suns group is Thunder, Lakers, Jazz, Spurs as the other four teams.
Dang it.
It's not the toughest, but
we might be top two.
Thunder feel like a lock. The Lakers were in the Suns group last year, and the Suns outmatched them, or at least were able to get in with them. We'll see how seriously the Lakers take it. And then the Jazz are going to be bad, and the Spurs, we'll see.
That's the in-season champions that you're talking about there. Of course they're going to take it seriously. They hung a banner, Brendan. They're going to get rings. Easy. Making fun of the in-season champions like that. By the way, they did not make the playoffs, in case you were wondering.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, I'm going to go with that they do make the knockout round because I think that they'll start out the season pretty strong, and that'll just kind of naturally happen. Last one here, kind of a random one, Ben. Will the Suns' sellout streak end this season? Currently 121 games long, third longest in Suns history. I just thought that was all interesting trivia. 89% of people said no, or 90. 10% said it will end. It's
upsetting that it's only 121 for the Suns sellout streak. I wish it was longer. I remember as a kid, they kept on mentioning how long it was. No, it's not. Not with these three superstars on a team. No, not a chance.
I agree. Plus, there's been some shenanigans, I think, in recent seasons. I'm not positive they've sold out all those games. But if they get close,
no team does.
They just do it. So
yeah.
They're definitely not going to be so struggling that they're not able to at least say they sold out. So come on,
they'll
it'll
just
continue.
buy the extra tickets. Yeah, they'll be fine.
Exactly. All right, tons of players stuff to rip through to wrap up the show. All coming up next.
First, today's episode is brought to you by Gametime. Gametime, the best and easiest place to find tickets to the Suns game or any sporting event or really any show, concerts, maybe it's a comedy show. You want to get a night out? Use the Gametime app for the best and easiest place to find tickets to your favorite event. Gametime also has a new feature called Gametime Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Gametime Picks filters out the fluff to show you incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Gametime, my favorite feature of it, is being able to see exactly where I'll be sitting, my view of the court, my view of the stage. Gametime allows me to do all of that. My best bang for my buck. I use it. You should too. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime Picks. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Download Gametime today. What time is it? Gametime.
Back here. Let's wrap the show, Ben. Our Locked On Suns board bets for the 24-25 season. We'll go rapid fire here. We have the correct graphic up around our faces now, so people are able to follow along.
I'm happy you got my text.
Yes, we're struggling here in the past to get everything as it needs to be.
I'm sorry. I should have just said something, but I didn't. I could have saved it.
It's all good. I had it ready, clearly, because I put it up like while I was speaking, but I just forgot to upload it like an idiot. Okay. Will Kevin Durant average over or under 27.5 points per game this season? It was 27.1 last season, Ben. What do you got? And then I'll tell you the results.
I'll say under. I'll say he'll average under. I mean, I don't think he's going to average 19 points. I think he's still going to average 25 or 26 points, but I'll take the under on that. I'll take him to come down just a tick, but be as efficient.
62% of people agree with you, and I agree with you, and I'll tell you why. If you take out that early season stretch where he was the only healthy guy, which was about 10 games with Booker out and more obviously with Beal out, where he was having to do so much, he probably doesn't get there because he's not taking as many shots, and this team looks a lot more balanced like we want it to. We should want him to probably score less per game because it means that he's in a more proper role where he's able to unlock other parts of his game. It doesn't have to score quite so much. All right, well, Devin Booker average over or under 27.5 points per game this season. He also was at an identical 27.1, same as Durant last season. What do you got?
Over. I think Devin Booker is going to carry this team this year, and I believe he should. Devin Booker during the regular season should be the number one. Carry them, get them the point scoring they need. He's still a young guy. He's in his prime. He can do it. Zero worries about that. I expect Devin Booker to do better this year.
As we all have talked about incessantly, the very best seasons of Booker's career were with point guards. I think the first year with Rubio was an underrated all-time book season. The year with Chris, the first year, and the second year were also that way. And I think this one will be too. So I'm with you. 75% of people agree with us. Will Bradley Beal average over or under, not 25, 20 points per game this season? He was at 18.2 last year. 62% of people say over, Ben. Do you agree?
Under. I'll take the under. I think it's going to be very similar to last year. 18 points a game sounds right. There's just too many mouths to feed. And I think he's going to be as efficient. All the great things, just less point scoring. I don't think that's a bad thing at all.
I'll go over. This is a little bit cheating, but I think there were at least 2 or 3 games where he left early, and I think that probably deflated his total. I also think that with Grayson Allen on the court with him less and Eric Gordon on the court with him less and some of that, we will get to see Beal probably be more featured as a scorer more often. So I'll say over 20, but definitely not in the vicinity of Booker or Durant. Which Suns will average the most points per game this season? We kind of have our answer now because we just did that. You say Booker. I also say Booker. 69% of fans agreed with us. 29.9% said Durant, and 1.3% said Beal. Look at that. Some people feeling very optimistic about Bradley Beal. Okay.
The same people that are picking him to be outside the top 10 in offense. We had some trolls. We had some Mavericks fans come and fill this out. I guarantee it.
Something like that. Okay. Will Kevin Durant break his single game scoring record of 55 points, which he set as a member of the Nets in 2022?
No. I never want Kevin Durant. That means that they're blowing out someone probably. I don't want him in the game for that long. So no.
I feel like he actively pumps the brakes when he gets close to this. I think he likes that he doesn't have a gaudy all-time high scoring thing. Because like Carmelo Anthony and some of these guys like Lillard or whatever have relished it. I feel like KD gets to like 48 and he's like, all right, sub me out. I do think he'll
have 1 or 2 50-point games, but 55's a lot. I'll say no.
Let me see what his high was this past season. I didn't put that in there. It's kind of crazy to think that he had 50. That his career high came after the Achilles, though. That's pretty. I mean, it's a testament to how well he's recovered. His high in points last year, 45 against the Boston Celtics on March 9th, 43 against the Bulls at home on January 22nd. Those were where he slotted in. I say no as well. Will Devin Booker break his single-game scoring record of 70 points, obviously set in 2017? 82% of people said no, Ben. Feels like a long shot. Where do you land?
70% of people said yes.
18% of people said yes.
Oh, man. I was going to say
look,
yes as a
it's
joke.
a whole new age in the NBA these days.
Yeah,
Everybody's
no,
breaking their all-time stuff week by week. Kat, Embiid, Luka. I mean, everybody's scoring 70 now. It was just last year I named those three guys.
Devin Booker will definitely have a game or two this year that he scored 60. He'll definitely have 3 games this year where he scores 50. He will not score 70 points. No. And never in his career again will he ever score 70 points. They had to kind of cheat to get him there as well. So,
yeah, he's not going to get probably as hot as Towns did in his game. And everybody else is guys who have the ball all the time, which Book is not really that type of player. So I will say no as
the
well.
Pelicans.
Is Beal going to break?
Yes.
Yeah, the Pelicans, the Bulls. He's always killed the Bulls as well. Will Bradley Beal break his single-game scoring record of 60 points, which he set in 2021? 87% of people said no, Ben.
Bradley Beal has a 60-point game?
Well, that was the year he led the league in scoring. So, yeah, he had a 60 in there.
Man. No.
He averaged like 32.
No. If Bradley Beal is in the game for that long, I'm going to be frustrated. They're probably winning by a bunch. Pull him out. I do not care.
Okay, KD, more or less. I agree, by the way. KD, more or less than 65 games played this year. Obviously, 75 last year got a lot of attention. 79% of people say he will stay above that mark to be able to be an awards consideration. What do you think?
No, I don't think so.
Intentional?
History tells me
or injury?
No. I think he'll roll an ankle.
Something small.
No. History tells me no. So no, unfortunately. So no. But I mean, if he plays 60 games though, whatever, it's fine.
Yeah, it's not. It's
a
lot of these numbers are a little arbitrary. I picked this one for 65 just because again, that's the mark for the awards stuff now. So he wouldn't be able to make All NBA and all that if he doesn't play at least 65. So I'll say he does, and I think I am more on the side of like it might be somewhat intentional here, not to hold him out of games where he's like, fully healthy, but maybe if he does nick or knack something, like he stays out for a little longer than he needs to, if they're healthier as a team this year, and if his minutes are lower, maybe he can play more games, and that just kind of keeps him fresher throughout the season to avoid that injury. So I'm not saying he's going to play 75 again, but I think if they're strategic about it and everything else, and they are purposeful with resting him sometimes, that actually might help in the grand scheme of it. It's kind of what I wanted to see last year, and we didn't. So I'll be optimistic and say more than 65, but probably less than he did last year. All right, Beal, same question. He played 53 last season. Does he clear 65? 75% of people said yes. They're very optimistic that Mr. Beal is healthy again. What do you think?
History tells me no. He hasn't played over 65 games in 5 years. Yep. He's probably going to nick up something. So no, I'll say no.
I have to say less than 65 as well.
Yeah.
And the reason is that the back thing is gone in the past. Great. That's good. That can be very lingering, but it is always something. It's always something different. And when guys get to that point in their career, like I think of Kyrie Irving kind of in the same mold, it's like they're going to be impactful. There's nothing wrong with that, but I can't pick them to play a ton of games each season. You just got to hope they're ready for the playoffs. How many total games will the Suns' Big Three play together? It was 41 last season, of course, which kind of tanked them. 95% of people, Ben, said more than 41. 3% of people said exactly 41 again. That's a very specific prediction. And then 3% of people said less than 41. Where are you?
Over 41 games because they have to. So I'm saying over 41.
Yeah, it's not a fun one to pick less.
Because they have to.
Come on. Yeah, all right. I'm in the same boat. Plus, they really did have bad timing a lot last year where one guy would be out and then he comes back and the other guy, you know what I mean? It was like if they had all just missed 8 games at a time and then come back, then it would have been a lot easier. Instead, it was like one or the other every single step of the way. So I'm on your boat as well. Okay. Last few. Grayson Allen, over or under 45% from 3. He shot 46 and did not participate in the three-point contest last year. Ben, 66% of people said under, that he comes back down to earth a little bit. 34% said over, that he stays scorching hot. Which side are you on?
Yeah, it'll be under. And also, guys, the three-point contest is not just about who can shoot 3 points the best. It's about stars. It's about the weekend. It's about being able to wear that jersey if you're a fan and be like, I'm wearing his jersey. That's why Damian Lillard gets in over him or whoever it is. He probably won't get it again this year. It's more about the showmanship of it and not so much about Grayson Allen's a great three-point shooter. So I'll take under.
For the record, yeah, look, I it's not profound. I thought it was going to be. I don't have a great way to say it. He can shoot less than 45% and still be a very good player. That's the point I'm going to make. So there we go. I'm going under as well, but I think he can still be elite.
He can still be an elite shooter.
Better than it was earlier in his career. I do think he's made legit strides, and I think that this team is great for him, but I think it'll just be less. I mean, 46%, you're talking about Steph and Clay numbers. It's not sustainable. That's not what guys typically do. Will Grayson Allen start more or less than half of his games this season? He started 74 of 75, of course, surprise starter after the late offseason trade. What do you think this year?
No. He's not, and he better not be.
Okay. Agreed. It would mean an injury, which we are not hoping for, so I will go on your side. 86% of people agree with us. Will Tyus Jones average more or less than 6 assists per game? He averaged a career-high 7.3 per game last season, Ben, but that was the only season in his career where he averaged more than 6, which is the number that I set it at. 95% of people think more than 6. I'm going the opposite way. I think less. I think because of the minutes, which is teasing the next one we're about to close with here. But I think his minutes will maybe be a little less than people are anticipating. Maybe more in that 28 range. And we've seen how much they move the ball lately. He's been at 6 and 7 in only like 20 minutes. So maybe I'm going to look like an idiot pretty quickly here. But I don't know. I think they'll play balanced. I think he'll play fairly limited minutes. So I'm going to go less. I'm going to be in the 5%.
I'll take the over. I'll take the over for a guy that's playing with a bunch of shooters and a good offense and Mike Budenholzer. I'll take the over.
Last but not least, will Tyus Jones average more or less than 25 minutes per game? He averaged 29.1 last year in Washington in his first time as a full-time starter. So that's probably like the ballpark here. Does he get that high with the Suns?
Yes. I bet he plays about 26 minutes. I'll say yes. Over.
I'm going to go over as well, but I think it'll be less than 29 like he was with the Wizards. 86% of people agree with us. Okay. We agreed a lot, but I think we disagreed with the fans quite a bit, and I think there's a good wide variety here. We probably should check in on this like at the halfway point and then again at the end because we don't want to save this all the way till April. People put their blood, sweat, and tears into this list for us.
Yes. We will have to look back into it. A lot of responses, too. When you told me how many, I was like, wow, people love us.
Shout out to the everydayers.
The every flippin' dayers.
That will wrap us up. Enjoy your week with Ben. I popped in here on whatever day this ends up going up. Appreciate all of you guys. Hit follow or subscribe if you haven't already. Suns basketball is days away. Real-time Suns hoops. So lock in, tap in, and we'll talk to you soon.